Tyvis, you weren't here on Monday when we discussed Ohio State. Before I give you my spin zone,
Pathetic.
what'd you take of the game on Saturday, the Buckeyes losing their 4th straight to Ohio State, to Michigan?
It took me a long time to come to the terms that it actually happened. You know, I was in disbelief for a good 24 hours. I felt just horrible for those players that came back because, you know, a lot of them came back for those reasons, you know, and the fact that 2 of the 3 reasons that you came back went out the door, you know, my heart broke for those guys. Going to be interesting to see how they bounce back. Right now, I see they slotted against Tennessee. Obviously, we'll know the official team on Sunday, but yeah, that game last Saturday was it was pathetic, man. It's inexcusable what happened, and I can't say I've never seen, because in 2015 I seen something very similar, but to just watch the play call and go from what it was to, in that moment, that game, what it became. It just didn't make sense, and I'm still searching for answers to why that was the game plan. So
I don't know if you can, being a defensive guy, this isn't a great question to ask you, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Ryan came out yesterday and said, yeah, they ran it inside way too much. In the moment, why can't play callers and head coaches feel that in the moment? Why do you have to wait 72 hours to say, yeah, you know what, in hindsight, we shouldn't have run it that much?
How did they not know that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even, who was it, Joel Klatt? Even Klatt pointed out in the broadcast, like, what are they doing? Their strength is to the outside.
Right.
But why can't, and I get it, like sometimes you're in the trees and you can't see the forest.
You know why? Because 3 years ago, Jim Harbaugh said that this team was soft and that he was born on third base. And when he said that comment, it had led him to go and win 3 straight and then allowed Sharon Moore to win another one. He can't get that out of his head, and I don't understand why.
I mean,
I just don't understand.
That alone is a fireable
You
offense.
mean to tell me that comment is, you just can't let that comment go? I mean, think about it. Think about it. Any time that they go out there and it has to be something about physicality, that's the first thing he talks about is, we're tough. We're tough.
Yeah.
I played at Ohio State for 4 years. That's never been a concern.
Right.
Like, and even if you did go out there and throw the ball 50 times to win the game and you didn't run it out one time, they're not going to say you're not tough for not doing that. So I don't understand.
If you're a coach and you change your game plan because of something somebody else says, then that's a loser mentality. Exactly. I don't understand.
You got to prove a point. I still want to know.
And by the way, fans, stop telling me how great a guy Ryan Day is, but we got to fire him. First of all, we don't know that he's a great guy because most of you and I don't know him personally. Anything I know about him tells me he's not a great guy. So that's number one. Number two, I don't give a rat's ass if he's a nice guy or not. Urban Meyer seems to be a terrible guy. I don't know him personally, but whatever. But he won. That's all that matters. That's all. Don't pretend like these other things matter. The only reason most people have gotten up in arms about Deshaun Watson is because he sucks. If he was great, nobody would give a crap. Don't be full of baloney.
It's true.
So, Tyvis, can I throw a spin zone at you? I saw online.
Sure, let's hear it.
So I saw this online, and I think it's a little ridiculous, but I thought maybe we could have some fun with it. I'm curious what you think as an Ohio State alum, champion, all the above. The spin zone is that the loss to Michigan was actually a good thing for the Buckeyes because it now gives them 3 weeks to prepare for the college football playoff, 3 weeks of getting ripped apart by the national media, by local media. Their backs are as far up against the wall as humanly possible, and it could be a rallying cry, a rallying call to get this team to come together and play its best football headed into the college football playoff and hopefully win a national championship. Is there any chance that spin zone has any legitimacy whatsoever?
Before you answer, can I give you one alternate to that?
Go
Just
ahead.
real quick. I do wonder if they're better off not having to play Oregon again. Okay, now answer.
If we have to do that, if we have to lose to our rivalries to get a wake-up call, then we're in the wrong. We're not.
I agree with you.
We're not.
That's right.
First of all, you know what the wake-up call should have been? watching your rival win it all last year. There's nothing more motivating than watching your rival win it all last year. So, therefore, no, I that's baloney. If that's the case, then we weren't going to win it to begin with.
That's right.
I thought after the Oregon game, that should have been the wake-up call. You know, that was one of those games where you lost to the number one team, but everything was still in front of you. You don't lose to your rival for gold pants and a chance to win your first ring, your first appearance in Indy since 2019.
That's unbelievable.
So I don't think I'm not hearing that at all.
No.
That is the biggest load of BS, and you almost made me curse for the first time on air. No, absolutely
Is there a
not.
benefit though?
The only good thing, you rest. But if you won the Big Ten, you would have rested anyway.
Is there any benefit at all to not having to play Oregon?
They're gonna
Big Ten title game.
Well, the way things are slotted, if they beat Tennessee, then guess who they're playing the next week?
Again, Oregon.
Oregon again. So, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Man, anybody that would come up with that's just pathetic.
That's ridiculous. Right. There's nothing good about losing.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
You got to sit there. You got to sit there and brew for 3 weeks and be mad about that. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how I'm trusting these coaches on the play calling right now. That's how I was in 15. I swear to God. When we lost to Michigan State, y'all should have heard what was going on in that locker room. Oh, my God. You ain't never felt so sold out by a coaching staff in your life, man. And
they were killing you guys.
They was cussing out. Urban was talking, people like how can we listen to what you got to say right now? Like, what are you talking about? And it was just bad. And I kind of know, like I wasn't there, but I know that had to be what the offense was thinking. Like, how do you expect me to believe what you, like, pay attention to anything that you're saying right now? You just sold us out. Like, that's kind of, so it's going to take some kumbayaing over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center because you gotta find a way to reel these guys back.
Well, that's the thing. Is there any concern in your mind that they're just broken from the Michigan game? Is 3 weeks enough time to pull this thing back?
It better be, because like I say, if I'm one of those guys that came back, like,
you can still win a national.
That's the only
you
thing.
Can win a national.
That is
championship.
literally the only thing that can save me, that can justify me coming back.
Right.
So why would I not?
Yeah. Then you can go. How long? What was the hardest loss of your life, and how long did it take you to get over it? Because this has to be the hardest loss of my life. This has to be the hardest loss of their life. Anyone on that team?
That Michigan State, we lost to Michigan State twice. One was for the Big Ten championship. The other one was just the regular season. To go back to the Big Ten championship, to then go to that 2015 loss was bad.
How long did it take you to get over it?
I mean, we had no choice because we had a game the next week.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Because you could say that, but that doesn't mean
you're still not over it.
Right.
I don't even really speak about that game still to this day.
So you're still not over it. 9 years and counting. Meter's still running.
Because it was so ridiculous. Yeah. Like it was worse. Honestly, it was worse than the team up north loss they just took.
Here's what's just beyond.
Go look at the stats. It was terrible.
Here's what's beyond embarrassing. I don't think that Michigan quarterback has to be one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play college football.
You think that's
How
bad?
Is that guy a
you think that's bad? Guess who we lost to in 2015?
Who?
The backup quarterback.
I don't remember.
Connor Cook was out.
We thought we
was playing Connor Cook. He came out and was out. We had deep backup.
That guy was worse than this quarterback.
Well, here are the two stats. Steve, take this full, please.
Look at the stats from that game.
I have them both. This is Davis Warren against Ohio State.
Look at that.
5th-year walk-on. And then Tyler O'Connor in 2015 when they beat Ohio State and Tyvis' team. Tyler O'Connor threw 7 of 12 passing for 89 yards and 1 touchdown.
Wow. So he's better than this guy.
And shockingly, and I didn't realize this, Tyvis, you know JT Barrett only had 46 passing yards in that game?
Yeah. Do you know how this is how we
They had a really good defense, didn't they?
Do you know how we even got to 14-14? We was down 14-7. You know how we got to 14-14? They muffed a punt. And we recovered the punt and on like the 10-yard line and they scored.
On a 6-yard line.
I don't remember that game at all.
No.
I do.
I don't remember.
Zeke scored.
I think about it a lot.
Clearly.
Zeke scored first to open it up. Then Trevor Pendleton caught a 12-yard touchdown pass from Tyler O'Connor.
I don't even know who that is.
Then the Jalen Marshall touchdown off the muff punt. Then Gerald Holmes rushed a 2-yard touchdown in the 4th, and they kicked the game-winning field goal at the
so you guys were
buzzer.
up. That put you up 14-7.
No, No, we were down 14.
No, you were up 14. Unless ESPN has it backwards.
Oh,
you were up
maybe
14.
we were up 14. Whatever the case may be.
a while ago.
It was.
But has there ever been a bigger gap in talent between Ohio State and Michigan, where Ohio State lost the game, that you can remember?
Yeah, in the 90s.
The Bianca-Patuka game.
In the 90s, they said like the Ohio State teams was like.
But I think
it wasn't even close. Now,
Michigan was still ranked in the Bianca.
Yeah, this was the biggest point spread, second biggest point spread in the rivalry.
I mean, what a disgrace.
It's unbelievable.
You see all these graphics of all these great Buckeyes from recent years in the NFL, and I'm like, none of these guys have won a championship. Look at the talent they've had, especially at wide receiver, at defensive back, defensive line, offensive line. Like, what is how is it possible that this team has not won a championship?
It is crazy.